Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. What up? What up? What's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah. Not much, man. What's going on with you, yo? You good? Yeah. Word. That's some of the worst logic that I've ever heard. It's like you can't have it both ways. Like he beat a young Oklahoma City team, but he got swept in the finals. But him being a kid don't matter. The fact that he got swept in the finals, the fact that he was a kid, that doesn't matter. Yeah, that's corny. That's super corny right there. Yo, you beat Kevin Durant when he was a kid. You beat Russell Westbrook. He was this, he was that. They was young. Meanwhile, I get swept in 2020. I mean, I get swept in 2007, and me being young, that don't matter. That's corny. I am. I'm really excited about the NBA season. You got a lot of guys that's going into the season. He wasn't like 22, Mark. He turned 22 that season. In the middle of the season, he turned 22. Like, what's the narrative we got? What's the narrative on a guy that's 21 years old that's taking a team to the NBA Finals in today's game? How are we talking about him? We talking about him like, man, he on his way to being the best ever. No, he wasn't. They were not. Mm-hmm. October 3rd. That's in 3 weeks. Training camp open, I think, in 2 weeks. And if you did see Luka do that, I try to make sense of it though. Who do you think who is the better player overall, more impactful, Harden or Duncan? Tim Duncan, absolutely. That team was built around him, and not only was that team built around him, they did a great job of building that team around him, and he thrived primarily because of it. You know, he was steady. You know, there was nothing extra about Duncan. Duncan was that guy. So John Wall. Well, the problem that we having with John Wall is that contract, man. That's going to be hard to move. You know, he on the books for $91 million over the next 2 years, and he making sure that he's not eating a dime of that. So buyouts are not in question. Absolutely not. So the question is who is suitable? And John Wall is trying to make it so he could. I think last season was the season where he showed that he could still play, but he only played 40 games, 40 of the 72 games. So he still hasn't shown that he's healthy or that he can be healthy. He has not. So that's going to be a problem, especially with that huge contract. The offseason way too long. No, it's not, Jonas. The offseason isn't way too long, man. We're talking about an 82-game season. These dudes played 8 months, 9 months with the finals. 82 games. That's a grind, man. That's gonna be that's a huge grind. That's a huge grind, man. Phil Jackson. I think Phil Jackson, because Phil is more of a manager than the X and O guy was Tex Winters. You know, Pat Riley is an X and O guy, but Phil Jackson was more of the manager more than he was the X and O guys. He knew how to manage talent, and he was a great manager of people. You know, Pat Riley is more of a drive guys and get the best out of guys and go, 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 go. Phil knew when to take practices off. Phil knew how to keep guys interested. Phil knew when to give guys days off. Phil knew when to get after a guy. You know, Pat Riley was just one speed, and it worked for that time. Oh, well, the Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving argument, and I've had this discussion in the past. In terms of, and if you just look at the numbers alone, Kyrie does everything better than Dame. He a better long ball shooter. He's more efficient from the floor. He's nicer with the peel. I think he's a better finisher at the rim. The difference is that Kyrie Irving is very aloof. Kyrie Irving is very unpredictable. And as my leader, that's a very unstable unit that I got, because my leader is unstable. So I can't have nobody like that as my leader. And I don't think that there's a huge disparity between him and Irv. It's not like Irv is this and Dame is this. It's not that far apart. It's not that far apart at all. Well, I'm interested to find out who Ben Simmons is going to even be playing for. Is he even going to be in Philadelphia? What's the deal? And I just don't like the way this thing is going, man. You got to remember that it was in 1984 when the Lakers lost to the Celtics in the NBA Finals, and they called Magic Tragic Johnson. And instead of Magic, and this was in Los Angeles, this wasn't just in the papers in Philadelphia or in New York. This was in Los Angeles. He was called Tragic. They blamed him for the series, why they lost. And Magic didn't demand to be traded. In fact, Magic said, I got to go get better, because we're talking about a guy in Larry Bird who he was regarded as the best player in the game. And Magic had to listen to, not only did I lose to him, but when you're talking about the better players in the game, when you talk about Larry Bird, and don't bring my name up because I ain't close to that good. That drove him nuts. Like, what? So that means that instead of me getting traded or me asking to be traded, which was not going to happen anyway, but instead of me asking to be traded, I got to go get on my job. I got to go get better, because you don't think I'm that. You think I'm good. You just don't think I'm that good. Well, we got to get to the bottom of that. And that was the difference. I don't do fantasy basketball because I don't really know much about it. I don't just like I don't do fantasy football neither, Brian. I think he's hit his ceiling. He doesn't care about basketball. And to be quite honest with you, Julian, I don't know if I can disagree with that. And the reason why I'm not sure that I can disagree with that is simply because over the last 2 seasons, I've seen Trae Young improve. I've seen Luka improve. I haven't seen Ben Simmons improve. He looks like the same guy that he was at LSU 4 years ago. I'm not on the, when I watch him in workouts and I see him hitting the mid-range, or I see him hitting the long ball. Well, he doesn't apply that in the games, and the reason why he doesn't apply that in the games is because it's upstairs, which means that he's not improving. So I was giving him one more season before I was going to wash my hands with it. I was giving him one more year. Yes, Mark, he did come back with a jumper. He came back as a better distributor too. He came back as a better playmaker, because he went in the lab and was like, I got to go get better. I ain't that good. I'm good. I just ain't that good. Well, I can get with that logic, Jonas. I hate players who work on stuff that they never use. Right. I don't think that that's harsh. Why are you working on this if you're not going to use it? Why is this something that's like me buying food that I'm never going to eat? Why do I have this? Why am I putting this in my game? It's a waste of time. Now, with James being the most gifted athlete, just because I'm the most gifted doesn't mean that I can't improve at things. James doesn't have the same jump shot that he had when he first came in the league. You know, his footwork has improved. His jump shot has improved. His ability to play make. He's gotten smarter. He sees the game different. Those things improve. Now, he had all the tools coming in, absolutely, but he did improve. And he used the stuff that he worked on. I mean, why are you working on this stuff if you're not using it? That doesn't make sense. Your boyfriend loves me. Tell him I said what's up. I'm really interested. C-Dot, I'm really interested to see how he comes back. I'm very interested. That's why I'm going to pay particular attention to the Golden State Warriors this year, because I'm really interested to see how he comes back. I dug D Rose. I did. I dug Derrick Rose. I remember him getting hurt when he was with the Knicks. The first time he was with the Knicks, and I remember him getting hurt. I think he broke his hand, and then he screwed up his knee, and he was out for the rest of the season. And I remember feeling, I felt really bad, because it was almost like watching a superhero lose his superpowers. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on with this guy? Why is he breaking down like this? What's wrong with him? Because in terms of a talent, he was incredible. I thought Russell Westbrook was better than him, but in terms of a talent, I just thought he was incredible. And to watch him break down like that so early, it was heart-wrenching. Like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? Why can't he hold up? What's your explanation with LeBron over Kobe? Kobe Bryant doesn't do anything better than LeBron James. That's my explanation right there. And I'm not going to get into a war words, because I've done this on TikTok 1,000 times already. Kobe Bryant doesn't do anything better than LeBron James. Nothing. Do you remember the 98 finals in Game 4? I remember the 98 NBA finals in Game 4. The toughest motion, the Jazz escape. That was terrible. That 54 points. I think I stopped watching. It was the end of the third quarter, and they had 39 points. And I stopped watching. I was out. I was like, there's no reason for me to watch any more of this. This is dumb. What am I doing here? It was just dumb. Yeah, it was dumb. There was no reason for me to watch it. Can you believe that he said that? And the only reason why I didn't get after him was because we were pressed for time. So I didn't really, when he said James Worthy, if he would have said that in the beginning of the show, we would have had it out. We absolutely would have had it out. No question about it. I did hear about that, Rami. Is it Rami or Rami? I don't know if I said that right. Rami. I did hear about them. I did hear about them. Hold on a second. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. Is Paul George a Hall of Famer? No. I don't think so. I don't see anybody like James Worthy today, to be honest with you. I thought that Kuzma could be that good. because of how athletic he is, but it was obvious that he was trying to do more than he should be. You know, being on that crew, all he had to do was what James Worthy did when he was with Magic: run the floor, hit open shots. That was it. Instead, he wants to be in isolation and shoot threes. I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm playing with one of the best distributors in the game. All I got to do is run the floor. I'm playing with the modern day Magic Johnson. It's going to be tough, sir. Injuries, Big Perk. That's what killed him. With Shea, Oklahoma City got to win some games, man. They do. They can't finish at the bottom of the Western Conference. And that's why, and I think I've mentioned this to you guys in the past, that's why Cat ain't on the All-NBA team. Rudy Gobert, that's Cat's spot. And the reason why Cat ain't on the All-NBA team is because they suck. That's it. So with Shea doing what he's doing, I mean, you think about the point guards in the Western Conference: Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox. There's a number of point guards that go ahead of him. So the fact that Oklahoma City isn't very good, that's just a small part of it. What's the narrative in social media, especially if an NBA Finals team scores 54? Oh, that would be nuts. Especially if he was on the team that only scored 54. Can you imagine? Oh, my goodness. I wouldn't even say an average jump shot, and it's more than I would say your jump shot has to be respectable. Because average is, I mean, I don't think that average is even respectable. It's just average where guys will just eat it. If it's respectable, that means that we have to defend against you. We have to at least, like Giannis, we got to at least run out at you. Respectable is, average is, we'll eat that. We ain't really tripping on that. No. I don't think that DeMar is going to. Well, DeMar is at an age where, I think he's 30. He'll be 32 on opening night. And I do think that he's 22 a night, but I don't think he's the guy offensively for them. Their guy is Zach LaVine. No doubt about that. Zach LaVine's their guy. Ball is your table setter. DeMar DeRozan is your second guy. And Vooch is your box work. So I don't know Mark Oliveras. No, I do not. And when he makes those threes, the place goes nuts. Derrick Jones is going to be huge in that Bulls lineup. I love Derrick Jones when he was down here. I hated to see him go when he was down here with the Miami Heat. And I loved him out in Portland. I was watching him when he was up in Portland. I made sure that I caught some Trailblazer games. I loved him up there, too. He's going to be big for the Bulls. No doubt about it. I'm not a Heat fan. I dig the fact that there's pro basketball down here, but I do watch them. And I'm not, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, that I'm not a particular fan of any team because these guys, they move around so much. So it's hard to stay committed to one team because you got guys who will stay on a team for 2 years or 3 years and then they're gone. So I'm more of a guy who follows players than I do teams. Alex Caruso's role is the same that it was when he was with the Lakers. He's a D&3 guy. He's a D&3 guy who can make open shots, who can defend. He's an energy guy. He'll make plays, and that's what he's good for. Now I'm past the one-on-one phase, my man. I wish I could still go, because if I could still go, I'd absolutely give you a one-on-one. No doubt about it. I can't play no more. I might look like I could still go, but I can't. Top 5 teams that I think will surprise this season. In the Eastern Conference, I think Charlotte's going to be better than what people think. I think Toronto's going to be better than what people think. I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't think Charlotte makes the playoffs neither. I think the Knicks are going to be better than what people think. I don't think that they're a top 5 seed like they were last year, but I do think that they're going to be better. I think Memphis is going to be better than what people think. I think Minnesota is going to be better than what people think too. I think Oklahoma City is going to be better too. And definitely Cleveland. Definitely Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to be a lot better than what people give them credit for. Oh, in terms of an athlete, Derek Jones is incredible. No doubt about that. I completely disagree, Vex. I think the Wizards are going to be trash this year. I don't think that they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be whack. I'd be surprised if they won 30 games. I think they're going to be super whack. They started in the play-in game, in the play-in tournament with Russell Westbrook. They were 10th, and Russ was able to get them into the playoffs. Russ is gone. I think they're going to be trash. I do think the Cavs are going to be better, Mark. Yes, I do. I think they're going to be a lot better than what they were last year. I don't know what they're doing with Sexton, though. The question that needs to be answered with Sexton is, what exactly is it that they're doing with him? Yeah, my Niners, we starting to deal with injury, but, losing Mostert, we're going to plug Mitchell in there, and I think we're going to keep it rolling. Our defense is still solid. Jimmy G's still upright. Debo is still good. Kittle is still good. So I think we're good for right now. I wasn't exactly sure about. I'm not exactly sure about Laurie getting on with the Cavs, because I like this kid Okoro. I mean, he made the all-rookie team. He's an energy guy, and I want to see what they got in him. So to bring in Laurie, you're going to hamper him, right? You're going to hamper him because that's his spot. So I'm wondering what they're doing there. Now, you can't have too much talent, especially on a bad team. All right, I can get with that logic. However, I want to see these guys. The Cavs aren't the conventional Lakers, Knicks team where, you got free agents flocking there. So you got to build it through the draft. You have to build it through the draft. And that's what Cleveland is trying to do. So we'll see. I think Cade is going to, I think he's going to be respectable. I don't think that Detroit's going to be very good. Well, Chris, don't if you can try to Try to avoid that sort of stuff. Like, I don't get involved in the narrative where people call other people trolls, and I don't get involved in that stuff. I get in healthy debates and healthy conversations about basketball. Whenever I start to hear toxic information when it comes to the media, I don't get involved in that. I get away from that immediately. That's why there's certain people that I listen to when you're talking about the NBA, right? I don't listen to trolls, or I don't listen to people who are always negative. Like, I'm a big fan of Chris Broussard. I dig him. Chris Broussard is in the know. Tim Legler, this new lady that works for ESPN, Monica McNutt. She know the game. Inside the NBA, those guys. So, I don't bother too much with those guys, with people who don't really have anything productive to say. Nah, I don't. Mm-mm. LeBron played in the weak East his entire career, yet MJ made the playoffs with Pete Myers, Dave. Yeah. Yeah. The problem with Stephen A, not the problem with Stephen A. Stephen A's got, he makes some really good points. I think what gets overlooked is the fact that he yells a lot. So that's a problem. I'm a big Shannon fan because Shannon does know the game of basketball. Yes, he does. And he gets after Skip too. I really dig that. Yeah, Derek, I watch baseball. I don't watch it as much as I watch basketball or football, but I do watch baseball. No, Toa, let me tell you something. Do not talk to me about the Steelers. I'm not getting sucked into that again. I let you guys trick me last year, and who you really are, it came out really quickly. But I was too blind to see it. And you're not tricking me again this year. You're not. Mm-mm. That was incredible, that one-hand catch, one-hand interception. That was, I'll take this. I'll take this. Thank you very much. And game's over, by the way, too. So you got Dallas 6 in the West. Let's see. I got the Lakers. I got the Jazz. I got Denver. I got Golden State, Phoenix. Dallas, Clippers. Dallas is 6. So the Clippers, Portland, the Clippers, Portland, Memphis. Who am I thinking of? I'm missing somebody that's good, because I think the Clippers, Portland, Dallas, and I'm missing one team that's going to be fighting for that's going to be in a play-in tournament. 10, 9, 8, and 7. I'm missing one team. Shannon does know football. Shannon does know basketball, Chris. Yes, he does. He knows the game. Denver's at 3. I got Denver at 3, Ian. Once again, Lakers at the top, Utah, Denver, Golden State, Phoenix, Dallas, and then 7 to 10 in the play-in game. The Clippers, Trailblazers, Memphis. And I'm leaving somebody out. I'm leaving somebody out, man. No, the Pelicans are a mess. They just lost. They just lost. They just lost Ball. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, you figure where did the Cavs finish next to the bottom? If they can get to 10, Well, what you talking about? I mean, I can't. I mean, that's a fact. What you talking about? Like, yeah, that's absolute fact. Random. It ain't like. I mean, I don't got nothing to say to that. That's fact. I got no, Sacramento is going to be better too. I think Sacramento is going to be better. I do think that. In the East, I got at the top of the East, I got Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Boston, Miami, uh, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Charlotte, and I think Toronto. And I think the Cavs will be. I think the Cavs will be right there. No, Chris, I won't stop it. No, I won't, because we don't know. We know that KD ain't gonna play the whole season. We know that James Harden ain't gonna play the whole season. We know that Irv ain't gonna play the whole season. So you stop it. Don't act like them dudes playing 82 games and they playing 35 minutes a night and they're gonna win 70 games, because we know that that's not gonna happen. So let's dead that right now. I do have the Bulls at 8. Yes, I do. I don't think they better than the Knicks. I don't think they better than Atlanta neither. And the Bulls had a solid defensive rating last year, which was good, which was really good. Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Chris, adding Patty Mills, that's another long ball shooter that they got with him and Joe Harris. That's going to be big coming off the bench. Yeah, because Joe Harris couldn't make shots, and I don't know why. I was trying to make sense of what the problem was, because I mean that's all he's there for. Make shots. That's it. So I do think that, Brian. That's why I wasn't really 100% okay with bringing in Laurie, because I'm thinking about Okoro. Do you want to move Garland to the 1? I mean, we can we put a trade package together to get something solid and get and move Sexton, because Sexton is not, first of all, he's too small to play the 2. And he's not dynamic. He's not Irv to play the 2, even though he's young and he's 25 a game. He don't pass. He averages 4 assists. So, all right, Isaac, take it light, brother. Good to see you. I didn't understand that. It was like somebody was moving the basket, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching Joe Harris, like, how come you can't shoot? What's the problem? Because he was getting the same shots, and I don't think it was the pressure of the playoffs, because he played in Cleveland with LeBron, so he knows what it looks like. Bulls or the Celtics? Who's got the better team? Oh, the Celtics. I think they better than the Bulls. Absolutely. I think that the Celtics, with Jaylen Brown healthy, and now bringing back Robbie Williams, uh, having Marcus Smart back in the fold, who I thought they were going to trade, but they didn't. I mean, they were in the Eastern Conference Championship 2 years ago. I think they're going to be right back in the middle of it. Right back in the middle of it. Pistol Pete was a showman. Pistol Pete was an absolute showman. Pistol Pete was all for the show. That's who he was. I don't think that there's a guy in the game today that's just about the show, and that's who Pistol Pete is. He was just about the show, and he gave you a damn good show too. If the Lakers or Brooklyn ain't in the finals, you out. I don't want to see him get traded neither, but what he got going on might not work for what they're doing. Who do you think the GOAT across all sports is? Like the best player in football, baseball, basketball. Who is the GOAT across all sports? Which dominated the most? That's a good question. I got to think about that. Why isn't Jaylen Brown healthy? He broke his hand last year. He coming into camp. He'll be ready coming into camp. But with Rubio now on the team, he can improve Sexton's playmaking. That would be great. That would absolutely be great. What do you think the Knicks can get? Do I think the Knicks can get the 4th seed in the East? That's going to be tough because the East has gotten better. Boston got better. Miami got better. I think that Atlanta thing was an aberration. I think that the Knicks would like to see Atlanta again. I know I would. If I'm playing for the Knicks, them in particular, of all the teams that I want to see them again. And why is that, Chris? Why don't you want to see LeBron win anything? What's your issue with him? The Celtics are going to be playing with Dennis and Jason Tatum. What's wrong with Jaylen Brown? What's his problem? Why won't he be playing? What did I miss something? Who's the best role player in the league right now? The best role player in the game. I love Robbie Williams with the Celtics. I dig Duncan Robinson, but he only play on one side of the ball. He's a long ball shooter. DeAndre Ayton is a great role player. And yeah, nobody wants to talk about that. But yes, DeAndre Ayton is a role player. Yes, he is. I thought that he would be a lot better at this point than what he was, but So you think Atlanta is a fraud, huh? You think they had that one season and that's going to be it for them? They're going to be right back to mediocrity? So that means that we're going to have another team like that this season. So who's this season's Atlanta, if that's the case? Is it Chicago? Is it the Knicks? Is it somebody that we're not even talking about right now? The best role player in the game. Jay Crowder he's a big time role player. So is PJ Tucker too. That's an interesting one. You know who else does an interesting job at drafting too, and that's Denver. But Atlanta has done. I think they got, if I'm not mistaken, and Cam Reddish was hurt. But had Cam Reddish been healthy, they had 6 guys on their unit averaging double figures going into the playoffs. 6. Atlanta got a good team, yo. They got a real good team. DeAndre Hunter was hurt too. That's right. Atlanta got a good team, man. I don't think they're going back to the conference finals, though. First and foremost, they didn't have any business Philadelphia had no business losing to them. No business. It was too late before Philadelphia realized that, man, we are in a dogfight with these guys. Not realizing that By that time, it was too late. By that time, it was too late. Mm-mm. I wouldn't be surprised, Ron. Not now, because James is he's past that stage in his career. I don't think that if James was in Cleveland that they'd go to the finals because he's past that. Mm-mm. But if you asked me that 3 years ago, I'd be like, "Yep, absolutely." Yeah, it's crazy how they could have had Nurkic. They chose Nurkic over Joker. Yeah, I tell you what, Breezy. If Derrick Rose, excuse me, if Derrick Rose doesn't make the Hall of Fame, he'll be the only league MVP and NCAA finalist not to be in the Hall of Fame. He'll be the only one. I can get with that logic. Absolutely, viral. I can definitely get with that logic. No doubt. Nah. Mm-mm. I think he could get them to the playoffs. I do think that. I don't think he can get them to the finals though. The Eastern Conference has gotten a lot better than what it was 3 years ago. And it was tough years ago. It wasn't the wash that everybody is talking about. Mm-mm. Well, Derrick Rose is a what if. And I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about Derrick Rose. You know, Derrick Rose, prime Russell Westbrook, prime Derrick Rose, prime this guy. Come on, man, give me a break with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, like I said, I didn't know that he was made of glass. I didn't know that. And it sucks because he looked like he could have been something special. That's exactly my point. The best team to never win a championship? I think it was that Utah Jazz team in 1998. Yeah. That Utah Jazz team in 1998 or the Milwaukee Bucks. I could say that 2002 Sacramento Kings team too. They were pretty awesome. Chris Webber wasn't with the drama though. That was the difference. So you got Philly out in round one. I mean, I'm sorry, you got Atlanta out in round one, and you got Philly bouncing them. Because I got Atlanta at 6. I got the Knicks ahead of them. That'd be interesting. The 2016 Thunder team, yeah. I don't think they would have beat Cleveland though. I don't. Mm-mm. I don't think that they would have beat Cleveland. And the reason why I don't think they would have beat Cleveland is for one reason and one reason only, and that's Russ. He would have sunk them. Uh, I'll tell you what. Jerry Rice was the most professional. Randy Moss was the most talented. Megatron was the most dominant, even though I don't think Megatron was better than T.O. And T.O. was the hardest working. That 18 Rockets team, neither. I was actually, when I remember that playoff series, I was rooting for Houston because I was thinking Cleveland could beat them. I didn't think that they could beat Golden State. I just didn't because that was a terrible matchup. And I know who James Harden is. And he showed that to me in the playoffs. So I'm thinking if they could get past Golden State, Cleveland is winning the NBA championship because they can beat them. James Harden is going to make sure of that. He's going to make sure of that, and he made sure of it in the series against Golden State twice in 17 and 18. I do not think Dirk is overrated. No, I don't. I actually got Dirk tied with Kevin McHale and power forwards all time at 5. Not as entertaining as the Lakers versus the Nets. I think he helps them. I think Larry Nance helps them a lot. He's a bigger body, a bigger rebound, a better rebounder. Larry is a defender. He's really good in transition. Absolutely. What Saquon Barkley showed in that game on Thursday night was what I hear running backs who come off injury talk about all the time. It was good to get hit because, you know, all the working out that you do, all the running and all the exercise and things to get your injury healed and you can feel strong again. None of that matters until you actually get out there and get popped. And once you get popped and recognize, okay, I'm good, and now we can get to work, that's when it starts to click. So I think that game was just for Saquon to get in and just get acclimated to the speed of the game, get hit again. Now, as the season goes on, you're going to see things pick up for Saquon. Mike Conley, I think he's better. I think he's had a better career. I think that when he was in his prime, he was better than Lonzo Ball. I mean, Mike Conley is in year 14, going into year 15, so that's a bad comparison. However, I think when he was in his prime, he was a better player than Lonzo Ball. It doesn't make a difference when he won the league MVP. He was MVP. Don't stop there, M. Dot. They need to work on their pass block too. How good was Daniel Jones on Thursday night when you saw him able to sit in the pocket for a second or two and throw? How much better did he look? As opposed to 1, 2, and he's running for his life. Right now, Mike Conley and Lonzo Ball. Mike Conley's breaking down a lot. I would have to go with Lonzo Ball because he's younger. And I think that if he was on that Utah team, I think that they would be really good. I think that he gives them more of a defensive presence. I think he gives them a knockdown long ball shooter. I think he gives them just as good a playmaker. Yeah. I did, Gary. I played in Sligo. They were in the Western Conference Finals in, what was it, 2012? Was it 2012? No, 2013, the year that I think San Antonio beat them in 2013. Yeah, I did play. He will get his number retired in Memphis, I think. I'd be surprised if he didn't. I do think that Mike Roball will be around. Yeah, I don't think that that's something that because the game is so fast. Absolutely. That's not going to go away. Teams are going to always use that. That's who I think, in terms of Tony Allen, that's who I think. That's who I think Brooks can be. I think he could be a better version of him if he concentrated more on defending. What Dylan Brooks does is he concentrates more on being Kobe Bryant on offense instead of just being who he is on offense and being a lockdown defender. And I think he could be a better version of Tony Allen because, Tony Allen, for all intents and purposes, wasn't that good of an offensive player. He was average, but he was a lockdown defender. So he made up for a lot of those things that he couldn't do offensively. What you call it? That's all day for me. And I dug Joakim Noah, but there's a reason why they called him Ibaka in Oklahoma City. I'm a big fan of the rim protector. I'm a huge fan of the rim protector. And Ibaka was the real deal. The real deal. I did not see the tweet. I did not see the tweet. What's up, Jeremy? Well, Zach, you're not winning games, right? You're not going to win games if you don't have a guy like Tony Allen on your unit. Because Tony Allen is the guy that's in the huddle when we're in the meat and potatoes of the game telling you, can you score the rest of the points? Yeah? Okay, don't worry about 24. I'll deal with him. Don't concern yourself with him. I'll deal with him. You score the rest of the points. Tony Allen is the one in the huddle that's screaming, yo, to hell with these guys. We're not going to let these guys push us around. That's who he is, and you need that. If you don't have that, that's the identity that you don't have, and teams are going to bulldoze you. And if that's going to be your identity, teams are going to bulldoze you. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing, brother? Jordan isn't better than LeBron. I'm almost. I've excluded myself from two different arguments. I've excluded myself from the Kobe Bird thing. I'm out on that. And Jordan and LeBron, I'll discuss tidbits of it, but I won't get into it too much because this is something. It's like the Protestants and the Palestinians, man. It's nuts. No, absolutely not, Breezy. And the reason why is because T-Mac, number one, never got out of the first round. Number two, I think Donovan can take this team. I think what this team has done, they just gotten bad draw. That's a good team that Utah has. Those Orlando Magic teams that T-Mac were on, those were not good teams, man. They weren't. Those were not good teams. Now, that Houston team he was on, I got a problem with him not getting that team out of the first round. And I can appreciate the notion that, they got a bad draw with Utah. They won 21 straight games, man. You could get your team, when you want a team that's that good, you should be able to win a playoff series. You should be able to. Well, let me ask you this, Viral. What's wrong with O'Neal? They already got Rudy. And what's wrong with O'Neal on the perimeter? I think he's a solid defender. I've heard Luka as an early candidate for league MVP. I've heard KD. AD is somebody that I'm definitely talking a lot about. He's definitely somebody because I think that he's the difference in whether the Lakers are going to win it or lose it. I think he's the guy, and I think James and I think Russ knows that we're not going anywhere without this dude. No, I don't think it's underrated. You know, he had 50. And what it did was it showed us that that team needs to improve mightily. No doubt. Is the 91 UNLV squad a one-hit wonder of all times? No, Soprano, because they won the championship the year before that. No, they're not a one-hit wonder. I mean, to get back the next year? No, absolutely not. Mm-mm. No, he's not, Jonas. And the reason why he's not, that's not true. He is not made of glass. No, he is not. Mm-mm. Just so you know, over the last 3 years, I think it was the 2018-2019 season, he was up for Defensive Player of the Year. The 19-20 season, he was on his way to finishing in the top 3 in MVP votes, had COVID not shut the season down, and he was playing the whole season. In the 17-18 season, they swept Portland out the playoffs. So, nah, I'm not buying that. He is not made of glass. Mm-mm. He is not hurt, or he is not beat up nearly as much as Derrick Rose. No. I don't think that he was hurt when he was in New Orleans that last season. They just preserved him so they could trade him. I don't think he was hurt. He could go. Most improved this year. I'd be on the lookout for guys like what's the guy from Houston, Wood. Look out for him. Look out for Jeremy Grant. This kid in Sacramento, not Halliburton or Fox. Their big guy. He was up for league. He was up for being on the defensive. He was up for being on the all league defensive team. Look out for him. No, not Bagley. No, not Bagley. Bagley's out. The other big guy that they had. Oh, I'm looking right at the guy. Cash, you think he wrong for that? You think PJ is wrong? Holmes, that's his name, my man. Yep. Rashul Holmes. I dig him. You think PJ Tucker wrong for that? I thought it started to resonate with me. I think it was in the 2016 season. Yeah, in the 16-17 season was when it started to resonate. I thought he was the best perimeter defender in the game. I did. Ski up, what up? Robbie Williams too, yes. Robbie Williams, I think he'll be in that conversation. That's when it started to resonate with me. After the 16-17 season, that I thought that Drew Holiday is the best. And then when I saw the job he did on Dame in the playoffs in 18, I was convinced. I was like, that's the best perimeter defender in the game. Shut the door on Dame. And they swept Portland out the playoffs. But OG, he got served by Kevin Durant. Who ass does Kevin Durant not kick? I mean, enlighten me on that one. I think the KT, I think the rookie of the year is somebody that we're not talking about. That's who I think the rookie of the year is. I don't think it's anybody at the top of the list. I think it's somebody that we're not talking about. I don't disregard rings, man. Boucher, you talking about the kid in Toronto? Boucher, I dig him too. Yeah, I love Davion Mitchell. He's the guy. He's my pick in the draft. Who I said when the draft came out, I think I had this conversation with you guys where they were talking about guys from 7. I think he was regarded from 7 to 15, and I was thinking whoever passes on him, you're going to regret it. No, I don't think that Ben Simmons can become the second coming of Peyton because it's upstairs, man. It's in his head. He's too busy. It's not that he's not working on his game because it's obvious that he is working on his game. Why is it not translating onto the floor? That's the $1 million question. KD busts everyone other than Kawhi. And if I remember, if do you remember when KD was in Golden State? He did put 47 on Kawhi when they went up to Toronto. He put 47 on him up there. So, like I said, whose ass is he not kicking? Well, Zach, let me ask you this. Have you ever, since you've been watching football, have you ever seen a division where every team in the division can make the playoffs? Like, forget about all the other divisions, right? Forget about the NFC East, the NFC North, and the NFC South. Every team in the NFC West, that could be the playoffs. Those 4 teams, plus the division winners from the other three divisions. I've always felt like that with KD, Brandon. Whatever he does, you just gonna have to eat it because you ain't gonna do. You're not gonna be able to. He's at that size with that skill set offensively. Whatever he's giving you, you got to eat it. It reminds me from when I was coming up, guys like Bird, Jordan, Olajuwon. Whatever he's doing, you're gonna have to eat it because you're not gonna stop him. The only way you can stop him is you got to limit his touches and get him out of his rhythm. Because when he get the ball, ain't really nothing you can do with him. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like Mitchell in Sacramento. And the reason why I don't like Mitchell in Sacramento is because I think he should be playing more, man. I want him somewhere where he's playing right from the beginning. Playing in Sacramento with Fox and Halliburton, that means he got to sit. And I think that's going to screw him up. I was very disappointed in your Titans this weekend, Zach. I was very disappointed. I that was the one team that I thought I was going to get a lot from this weekend. I was very disappointed in them. Hang on. Honestly, Jillian, my biggest threat in the NFC West, all of them, particularly Seattle. They own us. I don't know what it is about Seattle. I mean, we went up there 2 years ago when we went to the Super Bowl and won in a dogfight, but they own us. The Rams haven't beaten us in 2 years. And I know they got Matt Stafford, but they haven't beaten us in 2 years. So I ain't really tripping on the Rams. Arizona is always a problem, but the one team that bothers me the most is Seattle. Because I don't know what it is about Seattle, but we suck up there. We are trash up there. They destroy us when we go up there. I'm really interested to see your Cowboys this weekend against, I was about to say San Diego, but Los Angeles. I'm really interested to see your Cowboys against Los Angeles this weekend. I'm very interested. I think they win in a shootout. I do. Karl Malone is my favorite. Duncan is the best. And there's a difference between my favorite and the best. Malone is my favorite. Duncan is the best. Numbers post Instagram all magically state. I mean, you can make an argument for Jerry West being one of the best point guards in the game, but a top 3 player of all time? No. And the reason why he's not a top 3 player of all time simply because of the standard that has been set. which is you guys make it clear that the most important thing is what? No, I don't think Blake Griffin is the modern day version of Blake Griffin. I think he's better than that. There you go. Try hard. Rings. If you're not winning, no matter what it is you're doing, nobody cares. You guys have already set the standard for that. You've made that crystal clear. Jonas, you've never heard a fan say that there's a team that owns his team? You have to accept that if you're a fan, or if for example, as a 49er fan, I had to eat the fact that Seattle owned us. We could not go up there and win. We couldn't. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be really good. I like what they're doing with him. It should be but that's the difference is that that's not what's taken into account though. That's unfortunately people equate winning with you're the superstar. We're not winning because of you. You're the reason why we're not winning. See, I'm a Bills fan. Brady owns us. Eagles own us. I'm a Niners fan. Seattle owns us. In January of 2014, I'm thinking to myself, if we had gotten Seattle in San Francisco, we go into the Super Bowl. I knew going up there, we're not beating them in the NFC Championship. I knew it. We're not going to beat them. Jay got juice. Let me tell you something, man. And I catch a lot of heat for this. I have no respect for the Baseball Hall of Fame, none whatsoever. And the reason why I don't have any respect for the Baseball Hall of Fame is because the best players who've ever played aren't in it. The best players who've ever played aren't in it. There was no mandate on PEDs during that time. None. So I'm good. I got Jerry West at 12. I got him right behind Kobe Bryant. You try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree. Listen, Jillian, I spoke about this a couple of days ago. That team, in terms of talent, the talent is there. I think Daniel Jones is your guy. I think you got your running back. I think your defense with Leonard Williams, with Bradbury, I think that defense is there. The problem that I'm having, that is a poorly coached unit. They're undisciplined. They look unorganized. We get into the meat and potatoes of the game, and you get 2 false starts in a row. You're trying to stop these guys from moving the football, and you get a neutral zone infraction, which now gives them a first down, and then you get an offsides after they missed the field goal to win the game. What are we doing? That's coaching to me. That's coaching all day, every day. Well, it's not a coincidence that what's going on with Josh, with Jason Garrett. I mean, that thing seems to follow him. It just does. Where do you rank Luka among today's players? I don't think Luka is a top 5 player amongst today's players, barring but everybody is not healthy. So he may very well be a top 5 player now. Well, I do think John Stockton and Karl Malone are underappreciated because they didn't win. And that's taken into account. And that sucks, man, because those guys were awesome. Those guys weren't good. Those guys were awesome. We talking about guys who were, I think they were in the playoffs. They got Malone in 85. They got Stockton in 84. 18 straight years they were in the playoffs. Who can say that? Who do you think it is, Clay or Beal? That's a good question. Who do you think the better player is? Because I think it's Clay. You think Beal is the better player? That sounds like that can go either way. Good, Sims. How you doing, brother? I mean, Clay did make the All-League defensive team. I don't think that's a wash. I'm just trying to make sense of what this Giant team is. Why are they so undisciplined? And that's coaching. And that's got to be fixed. That has to be fixed. If you need a bucket, you go on the Beal. Okay. Well, Jillian, did you see how good Daniel Jones was when he had 2-3 seconds to throw the football, as opposed to 1, 2? Now he's running for his life, or the pocket collapses after 2 seconds. Like if he actually had 2-3 seconds to throw the football, how much better he was and how much better he looked. That 96-97 Bulls team, they won 69 games that year. They won 69 games that year. Jillian, make sure that you know, Daniel, he owns the Washington football team. Before Thursday night, he was 4-0 against them. He owns them. Got a 96 for his career. He's got a 96 QBR against them. He's got a 69% pass completion rating against them. He owns them. Yeah, I think that Bulls team in 96-97 is better than the 85-86 Celtics. Even though that 85-86 Celtic team was incredible, they still have the record today in 2021, 40-1 at home. And I'm going to say that for you guys one more time. so you make sure that you know that you heard me correctly. You get 41 home games. They won 40 of them. They only lost one time at home the entire season. Oh, he's great running out of the backfield. Let me tell you, and this might sound crazy, and I was thinking about this. Daniel Jones reminds me a lot of Steve Young. He does. Who did they lose to that year? That's a good ass question. I got to find that out. But I know they lost one game that year. Hmm. Yes, they were better than that 73-9. I don't put that 73-9 team as the greatest in any greatest of all time conversation because you didn't win. Not only did you not win, you had an epic collapse. Epic. That's like building a bridge. You got this huge, you building a bridge across the Atlantic Ocean. And this is the biggest bridge that you've ever seen. It's incredible, this bridge. No bridge has ever been built like this. And you get from New York, you get maybe 20 miles from London, and the bridge falls in the water. Can you say that this is the most magnificent bridge that you've ever seen? Even though this bridge has survived numerous storms and everything, but we get 20 miles away from where we're trying to get to, and the bridge falls in the water. You can't put that in the same category. You can't put that as something that's an all-time great establishment. You can't do it. Terry McLaurin was really great. Yes, he was. No question about that. And if you notice, watching that game, a lot of the stuff that he had going on was underneath. He didn't really have a lot of stuff going on over the top. Ten different quarterbacks. That don't even sound correct. Which NBA team would be the best if each had their all-time best players? The Lakers. I think that's simple for me. The Lakers. Magic, Jabbar, Shaq, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Bryant, James Worthy, Chamberlain. What? Now, listen to what you just said, King. They were a shot where? So I'm clear. Make sure that you make sure that I'm clear on what it was. They were a shot where? Mac Jones looked like a pro. That's what he looked like. He looked like somebody who was very comfortable in that offense. Bob Pettit is one of the most underrated guys ever. Right. They were a shot away. A shot away. And the Golden State Warriors were a game away from winning the NBA championship, and they didn't do it. The Miami Heat were a shot away from losing, and they scored. This is how thin the line is when you talk about success and failure. Paper thin. I think Bob Pettit in the 60s, and I had this conversation with my man from Fluent and Chill. Just so you know, from 60 to 65, Bob Pettit averaged 26 and like 13. Yeah. It does matter. Absolutely it matters. You know why it matters, King? Because they didn't lose. They didn't almost lose. Almost only counts in horseshoes, sir. They won. The Warriors didn't almost lose. They lost. That's the difference. I dig Daniel Jones, man. I like I said, I just got finished talking about that. I just I think that I think that's a poorly coached team, and they got to shore that up. Best players to ever play in Pittsburgh. You could definitely make that argument. Absolutely, you could definitely make that argument. I mean, Dwight Howard did get the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals, and he was on that team in 2015 in Houston that went to the West Finals. So, and he was in his prime. Hmm. Yes, so you see, I do think that. Hmm. No, Sunday afternoon we got the 1 o'clock game. Actually, Jillian, we got the early game at 1 o'clock, and they were better. I was watching. I was watching Philadelphia, and I'm thinking to myself, was Philadelphia that good, or is Atlanta that bad? Did I overestimate Atlanta? Because I got Kyle Pitts as my offensive rookie of the year. I'm from the Northeast, Jay. I'm originally from Jersey. Jordan didn't have many weaknesses, man. He didn't, and everything that he was weak at, he worked on it. Yeah, he did. That's a fact what Bob Pettit did. But because it was in black and white, people have a tendency to, they look at it like, well, he was playing against plumbers and he was playing against this guy, which I don't pay much attention to that. So when Detroit did lose their starting cornerback too. So that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt them. Yes, it is. I don't think it does much for him, Sean, to be honest with you. I just think it adds to the legacy. I think that he's already cemented where he is because no matter what he does, he could win 6 rings. People are still going to say he went to join a super team, or he lost 6, or he did this, or he did that. So I think that in terms of his legacy, he's already, in my opinion, I think he's already where he is. And I don't think he moves, even if he does win more. There are people who are going to stay where they are with Jordan. There are people who are going to stay where they are with James. You think Aduko is whack? You think Aduka is whack? Hmm. No, Sean Kemp is not a Hall of Famer. Mm-mm. He isn't. Yeah, Sean, I think we win in 12 games this year. And I think we're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. If we get a favorable matchup, I would love to have to come to Tampa for the NFC Championship. I would love to see that. Absolutely. I would love that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Parker. You tell me whose prime was better, because when you look at what James Harden has done, James Harden had a 3-year stretch where he finished in the top 3 in league MVP votes. And he took his team to the Western Conference Finals, what, twice in 3 years? Tracy McGrady, even though those teams were bad, man, he couldn't get out of round 1. And I'm big on James Harden collapsing in the playoffs, but he did take his team further than Tracy McGrady. And offensively, he was a better all-around player. He was a better distributor. He's a better playmaker. I think my boys was looking ahead to Philadelphia, and we took our eye off the ball, and I don't think that we're going to do that tomorrow afternoon against Philadelphia. I think we're going to be a lot better. I don't think he's mentally checked out, Jillian. No, I don't think that. However, I did not appreciate that performance at all. At all. He was trash. And to poo-poo it like, yeah, don't worry about it. It wasn't that bad. Nah, I got a problem with that. Absolutely not. Now, was that an aberration? I think so. I think that they're going to be a lot better on Monday night against Detroit. But I've never seen him play as bad as he played. And I don't think he's checked out, because I don't think that that's the kind of player he is. Not at all. But I didn't appreciate that performance at all. For lack of a better term, he was trash. And I think he'll tell you that. He was trash. No doubt. The problem, Sean, the problem with ODB is there's a chemistry issue between him and Baker. And as long as that's going on, it's like two magnets, and it just doesn't look like it's working. Baker has that chemistry with Landry. He's got that chemistry with Chubb. It's just, it doesn't seem like it's working with ODB. It just doesn't. Well, you know why, Jane? Well, you know why, Jillian? And the reason why it worked is because the reason why it looked the way it looked on Sunday with Jameis is because Sean Payton is a master at whatever it is you know how to do, that's what we're going to do. What you don't know how to do, we're not going to do that. The leash is very short on Jameis with the long ball. I know you like to throw the long ball, and we're going to put that in the offense. We're not going to do it 35, 40 times, though, because I'm putting you in a bad spot. I'm going to put you in a position to do it and be successful at it. And I think Sean Payton is great for Jameis. I always felt like Jameis was a starting quarterback in the game. I think he got a bad rap in Tampa, and I'm glad to see what he's doing now. I'm loving it. No, Santos, I don't think that the Rockets are making the play-in tournament. I don't. Mm-mm. I don't think that Lamar Jackson is overrated. No, sir, I do not. Mm-mm. That may be true, King. Maybe maybe ODB should be somewhere else. I think that I can't disagree with that. I do think Mac Jones has potential. He looked like a pro back there. He did. He looked very comfortable in that offense. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He was making the right reads. And I think that as time goes on, he's just going to get better in that offense. And it doesn't hurt him that when he was at Alabama, they ran the same offense. So I don't know, man, because I'm looking at that John Wall contract, and that's going to be very difficult to move. And he made it clear that he ain't eating none of that money. He got $91 million left on the books with him. And he said he's not eating a dollar of it. He is not interested in a buyout, which means it's going to make him very hard to trade. Very difficult to trade. Oh, overhated, not overrated. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. No, I don't think Lamar's overhated. I do think that the fact that he hasn't won in the playoffs as much as they would like him to, I think has something to do with him being a black quarterback, because him being the league MVP and him not being able to get past, I don't think that another quarterback would get this kind of heat, the kind of heat that he's been getting. I don't think that there's another quarterback that would get that kind of heat. So maybe he is overhated. Yeah, I may have to agree with that. Yeah, maybe he is. So no doubt. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It was good to talk to you. Today is Saturday. I'm going to try to get back on again. Not Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Not Tuesday. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch Live Tuesday on Sports Behavior. Come check us out. Me and OG the Beast. We're doing that Tuesday. On Monday night, I'm doing TikTok Live with Fluent and Chill. But Wednesday, I can get back in here with you guys. No doubt about that. I think Wednesday, I can get back in here with you guys, and we'll chop it up again real soon, man. It's good to see you guys. So till then, take it light, but take it.